Okay, John, so I guess first things first, how you been doing this last, year now, COVID?
Um,
Yeah.
well, to be honest, where I am now, it was huge foresight on my part because I kind of saw how serious it was and had the foresight to build a studio in the coal hole of my basement. So
Right.
originally there would have been a manhole cover here where the man tipped the coal in for the fires in the Victorian house,
Oh, right.
and it's 3.5 foot by 7 foot, and I took all the crap out of it, cleaned it up, put insulation on the walls, and this is where I do quite a bit of my voiceover work from home.
Ah, nice.
So I do police interceptors here every week. So at the first lockdown, I was worried about work because um, I just thought, oh my god, what we're going to do. Thankfully, I feel very sorry for people who are live actors, theatre actors and
Mm,
musical theatre actors
yeah.
who kind of. Thankfully, I've got a few strings to my bow, so I'm all right. I can do quite a lot of things, and I don't mind. To be honest, I don't mind retraining. I don't mind if someone says, "Right, this is what you do." I'll go, "Right, I'll try and do the best job I can with it."
Yeah.
As long as I like it to a point, not something I wouldn't like to do. But yeah. So work wise, it's been sporadic, but it's been very good. When we went into the tier system, I worked quite a bit before Christmas. I'll get onto that later. But mental health wise, I'm fortunate because I can see my kids.
Mhm.
Because I'm divorced, so I get to see my kids whenever I want, and I can also see my partner because we're both single parents living alone with children. So that's fine. So we can. I'm quite lucky in that respect. I'm not seeing my mum and dad,
Yeah.
which is a bit of a shame. I'm looking
That's
forward
the,
to seeing them. I've not had my jab yet. But,
yeah. I had mine. I couldn't believe I got offered mine. It was purely because now and again I tutor people with autism and Down syndrome.
okay.
I got a call and just said, "Oh, yeah, we'd like to offer you the jab this Saturday." Had the Oxford one. Yeah, was fine. The day after, I
Yeah.
felt a bit crap.
Okay.
It was like I can only describe it as feeling like the worst hangover for a day.
I've heard that. I've heard
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it was. That's how it felt for a day. But by Monday lunchtime, so I had it on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday I was all day fine. Sunday horrific, hangover central. By Monday lunchtime, I was sort of rode it out. It was fine. But yeah, that was the Oxford one. People have the other one that don't have anything sort of
AstraZeneca.
yeah, the Pfizer one.
Oh, yeah, there's three, isn't there? I'm
Pfizer, yeah,
thinking,
yeah,
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 there's three. Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
But yeah, there we go.
So speaking of hangovers, I gave up the drink
I know,
14 years
yeah, I know
ago.
you did, yeah.
So I went into lockdown. Those shows, Doomsday Preppers, where people hoard cans and kind of are ready for the apocalypse.
Yeah.
In a way, my sobriety, I was a doomsday prepper because when I first stopped drinking, I hated it because I felt, I had terrible
Mhm.
FOMO. I felt really down. I just thought, oh my God, why me and all that.
Mhm.
Poor me, why me? Oh no, I'm cursed and all this. But I've turned that FOMO into JOMO. So I love if someone said, I'm sorry, the party's cancelled, I go, yes.
Mhm.
Um, so for me, for someone that doesn't drink, I found this lockdown thing a breeze because
Yeah.
there's always something to do.
Yeah.
I'm never bored. I just think boredom. Someone said to me that boredom, my definition of boredom is self-obsession. I thought, oh, strong. But it is, it's self-indulgence, going, bored. But the resources today, technology and everything. I even had a what's the word? A contingency plan for the internet going out.
Oh,
So
really?
I've got vinyl, CDs, books.
Yeah.
I've got, I'm quite good at art and I'm quite, creative. So and I've got drum kits down in the basement here. So I play drums professionally. So I feel very blessed that I've got this kind of mindset that can cope with these things. But there are people who are a lot more fragile.
Yeah. I mean, how long have you been sober now that you've not drunk?
14
14,
years.
14 years. That's
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I suppose anyone that's sort of, I guess this year have lockdown, it would be cheaper than any kind of therapy or rehab if anyone was kind of going through that, just kind of being stuck at home.
There'll be some people that it's a very easy kind of get out clause is alcohol, really.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
drugs, because it's just like, well, it kind of puts a plaster on it,
Hmm.
but that plaster is very hard to take off.
Yeah.
Do
Oh
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
I know what you mean. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I had a spell of. I gave up alcohol for a year because it was causing too many problems for me with relationships and behavior and just. See,
Yeah.
I was someone that didn't need to drink every day, but when I was out with the lads or whatever, I would just go too much. Friday,
Yeah.
Saturday,
Yeah.
would feel like I had to drink a certain amount to be social and to be and all this to be fun. And yeah, and it just changed like the behavior, and I started getting depressed. And I guess it's quite an interesting question. Like someone asked me this the other day. I don't know what you think of it. Does depression cause alcohol, or does alcoholism, or does alcoholism cause depression? And it's like it's an
Both.
interesting question. Yeah, it's both. It could be
It's
both
both
ways, isn't
ways,
it?
really.
Yeah.
There's a thing they say is, I'm sick of tired of being sick and tired,
Hmm.
which is kind of, to use a biblical term, one begats another. So
Yeah.
it's kind of, yeah. The thing is, what a lot of people think with alcohol is, I remember if you drink on an empty stomach, like quite a bit,
Yeah.
or they call it power drinking apparently, where you really neck it dead quick on an empty stomach. That feeling you get is fantastic, and you cannot beat it. But you will never match that initial hit for the rest of the evening. And what you're doing is chasing that initial hit. So that first feeling, you go, oh my god, it's almost euphoric, isn't it? It's like
Yeah.
spiritual. You go, it's funny. It's called spirits, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you miss it. It's interesting why they call it that, So you have that, and you kind of and then you chase that kind of that initial hit, and you never get there, and that's where that's where the wheels fall off later.
Yeah.
I've heard people say nothing good ever happens after 11 o'clock at night. That's what that's about, really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you keep going, and my mum used to say to me, "Quit while you're up." I never got that, but I do now. I never got it. Oh, quit while you're up. But that would be quitting very early. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, is that all like that kind of, I guess, that dark place with alcoholism? Is that always there, or does that go away?
It does go eventually.
Yeah.
The compulsion, the desire goes. And it's a magical thing that when that goes. They say it's like a monkey on your back. I mean, once it goes, but early on, it's just the whispers constantly go on, you'll be all right,
Yeah.
It's like people who don't understand it, they go, you can have one though, can't you? And you go,
Yeah,
no,
just one. Yeah, yeah.
You can't have one.
Yeah. It's that same person. It's the same voice that when you're on the edge of a cliff just goes, oh, just jump. You can fly.
Just jump. Well, that's funny you should say that, because I did a bungee in New Zealand. I've done a few actually. And when you get up there, I did the third highest in the world. It's the Nevis bungee out of a cable car. When I got there, my mind was messed because my instinct was, my mind was saying, you could die doing this. And then, but my adrenaline junkie side of me goes, come on, do it.
Yeah.
But it could go wrong, I mean, they are testing and everything. But it's kind of, it's a bit of a, I met someone who'd done it the day before. A total stranger went, yeah, mate, how you doing, And he told me, and that's what he went through when you were up there. He went, God, it's so weird. There's part of you. And when you see people go, no, I don't want to do it. That's taken over. So that was a weird experience. But once you've done one, wow, that's amazing. It's amazing. But that's very high. It's 128 meters, I think. It's like Blackpool Tower, that.
Oh, wow.
But your momentum's so fast, it's kind of over. You want a shorter one than that. Like the Auckland Bridge is good.
Yeah. Nice. I had one mate, he still gets stick for it now. He on a stag do to Butlins. And then we were in a walk with the water slides. And he got right. It was quite a tall. He got right to the
that one.
Yeah, yeah. And he got right to the top, and he bottled it just as it was his go. And he had to turn around, walk past everyone. That he said, I'm not a strong swimmer. I can't do it. And he just bottled it right at the top.
Really?
Yeah.
They're not great, those sort of high ones.
Yeah.
A few of those. My mate describes them as an enema.
Yeah. And how have, I guess, talk about lockdown again, like have you had your ups and down moments though, like
yes,
the mental health?
I'm human, I'm not superhuman. Yes, I have, of course. I think everybody does, really. I think one of the secrets to avoid is I'd say is avoid the news. Just get a snippet. You get I in the morning I've got a kind of alert BBC News. It says your coronavirus briefing, and I just read that. and it just kind of, I don't go scrolling through or rolling news or. And also, the thing about news is you don't really need to read a paper, because if anything major happens, word of mouth spreads it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've not read a newspaper for years, but because I had a rotten time with the tabloids, that's probably why I don't read one at all. I used to read The Week, which was great because it was a very kind of middle class approach to the news, and it was a sort. Have you seen it? The magazine, The Week.
No, I've not seen it.
It's a summary of all the newspapers.
Yeah.
It's all the best bits from the news put into a magazine, and it comes out on Friday. And I used to get that, and it's a great magazine, but I stopped it because it was all pandemic, and because that's But obviously there's bits and pieces. But they said, "Oh, will you renew?" They rang me and said, "Will you renew your subscription?" I went, "Yeah, when this is over, yeah, I will." Yeah, I just don't want to read about it. I just don't want to read about it. I know there are people that just not for me. I know what it's about. I mean, there are important things we need to glean from the news. I'm not one of these people that sit and watch Boris. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't do it. I don't sit and slide, please. I don't.
Yeah.
I just don't
get the charts up. Get the graphs.
I don't do it. I just and what I do is I read all you need to know about Boris's last speech on the internet. Really, that's rather than watch that. I just it's a lot easier. The key. Yeah. Then you can separate the wheat from the chaff. You get all the key. You get all the important stuff. You know. So.
Yeah, I mean, there was a point last year when I realised that with the news, I was like, I have to stop watching it, because there was a point where you put Sky News on, you watch it for half an hour, like, I'll say, you talk about COVID, the cases, the deaths we've had today. Okay, now let's go on to Brexit and things ongoing there. And it's like, okay, now update from Donald Trump, what's he saying now, and all this. And then you had the understandable anger with the death of George Floyd and the protests in there and everything. Yeah. And I mean, that was all happening at the same time. And I remember
all the same time.
Yeah, and half an hour into watching all that on the news, I was just like, I feel shit. I can't watch that anymore.
Well, things are taking a turn. Trump's gone, so's Piers Morgan. So come on. That's you know.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah. I mean, what did you think of the whole Piers Morgan thing? It's one of these things.
That man, under the stewardship of the Mirror, tried to destroy my career. So when I got the disclosure of what the Mirror had actually done in court, not only did they hack my phone, I had 2 private detectives following me as well, following my every move and just being scrutinized. It was just, but that was when he was editor.
Yeah.
So, when they asked me to go on, I can go on any day of the week now. I would only go on a Friday when he wasn't there, because I don't want to be in the same room as him. Really, I ended up at some do, and he was there. And I had to shake his hand, and I just thought, well, be civil and do it, But in the old days, I would have probably asked him for a duel on the Common. I have no love for Piers Morgan, because he under his stewardship, the Mirror tried to destroy my career and life. And that's unforgivable, really.
Yeah.
So I mean, but there is a theory that Fox News is coming to the UK.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
So he would be the guy for that. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's all like it's all kind of a stunt. He's already he thought, right, let's no, off he went. Good on that weatherman though for putting him up.
He flip-flops, doesn't he? Like, in terms of, like, even Trump, he was pro-Trump, then he was against Trump, and then the Meghan Markle, he was he kind of was friendly with Meghan Markle, and then she didn't want anything to do with him anymore, and now he's her biggest critic.
That's the thing, though. That's the basis of this. It's ego, and you really have to. One thing you have to do these days is watch your ego, especially in my profession. I mean, people's egos are out of control, and I think his ego is hurt. The Meghan Markle thing, and if you look at, if you read between the lines, that's what this is about.
Oh yeah,
it's about the fact she's brushed him off.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what did you think of that?
You can't criticize someone's mental health. You can't just make instant judgment about suicide.
No.
How does he know? He doesn't. You can't. In this day and age, in the cancelling, I don't. I like Instagram because it's pictures, no opinions. Okay, I don't care if you don't like me cooking, But I do other stuff. Now I know that the people want to see me, and I do occasionally rock up, but because of because of the intrusion in my private life from the newspapers, particularly the gutter press, I am quite private.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I'm not one of these person that feels they need to do a daily selfie or a video, you know, for the feedback, you know, for the, what's the word, validation. I
Yeah.
don't feel I need to be validated because I have
Mhm.
people around me who love me and care for me anyway. I don't feel that I need the validation of strangers daily, you know, because over the years I've tried to kind of create a half decent bloke, you know, who doesn't need, isn't that needy. And it worries me. It worries me, social media, the neediness of it and the way that people are growing up with it. The thing, oh, I've not got many likes
Mhm.
today. I'm not feeling a bit down. And these are people you don't know.
Yeah.
You know, these are people. I
Mhm.
mean, it does worry me. It does worry me, and I think it's a massive. It's a
Yeah.
big problem for mental health, particularly in the
Mhm.
teens, the formative years. You know,
Absolutely.
I feel for them so badly. You know,
Yeah. Especially when you see like that Love Island program. I mean, I didn't watch it, but you get people that kind of inspire, I suppose, to go on those shows. And you see a couple of the people that come out of Love Island that took their own lives. They were
yes, that's
contestant on
true.
because they kind of come out of Love Island and they're mega famous because it's such a huge show. They come out
That's
and they're
right.
being invited to all these things, and then after the year, when the next Love Island series comes out, they're relevant now.
Dropped.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dropped.
it's a cruel mistress, really.
Mhm.
Is the world of reality? You've got to try and. The problem is, though, anyone can be a reality TV star, and at the end of the day, I think the Kardashians are partly to blame. Is you need a skill set, something you got to realize that celebrity comes from to be celebrated for
Yeah,
being a singer or an actor or a
yeah.
juggler or a magician or, you know, you're a celebrated ballerina, opera singer. You're not celebrated for lying around in a bikini saying, I got a text.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. It's like people want to be famous rather than talented.
Yeah, fame over
Yeah,
talent. It's a
yeah.
killer, isn't it? It's a real killer. And it's just like, but it's been proved it can be done. But like you
Mm,
said, it's very short lived. And can your ego cope with that? Can
mhm.
you be prepared? But if you've got a skill set, you can continue your journey. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
it's funny, like, because people have tried. Like Katie Price did singing, didn't she? And it was like,
Oh, yeah.
but people say Katie Price, brilliant businesswoman. I think she had a good team around her, you know. But
Mhm.
that's all gone, you know. I think, but give her a due. She did have a go, you know.
Mhm.
Um,
She has a series of children's books out that she hasn't written, but she's got them out.
yes, I found out about publishing a while ago. It was quite a shock to me how it works in ghostwriting because I
Oh yeah.
said, I won't name names, but I went, how much input does that reality TV star have into
Mm.
the plot? And they went absolutely nothing.
Mhm.
I went nothing. None.
Yeah.
They're not allowed because their ideas are so. I did hear about someone who was very famous who did one of those ghost-written books, and they said the ghostwriter asked them, did you enjoy it? And she said, no, I'm not read it. And then the thing says she's not really a very good reader. Not actually. It's not like she
Wow.
doesn't like reading. She can't really read properly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah. And I didn't realize that, you know, when you walk into a bookshop and there's the front table,
Mhm.
that's a premium to go on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the chart, you pay for the position on that as well.
Oh yeah. The
Do
publishers
you know
pay for
that?
it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you
The
pay for your
publishers
slot.
pay for it. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah. It is a shame
I'm quite
because.
naive. You know, when I found
Oh yeah.
I was really gutted.
Yeah, I was. I mean, I will mention a name just because he's publicly come out and spoke about it. But obviously, Chris Foy has his children's books series out, and he was in a conference once, and they sort of asked him about the books. He goes, "Oh yeah, I don't write them." He's got his name to these books,
Oh,
but he's like, "No, I don't write them." But they're popular. Kids buy them, and it's just a shame that the people that are the ghostwriters and talented
are they
writers.
about little bicycles?
I don't know. I haven't read them.
I don't know.
I imagine so. Like, I guess that would be
I would imagine the
the thing.
thematic, you know, the
Yeah,
theme
yeah.
is, you know, not nuclear fission.
Superpower bike or something. But,
Yeah.
You mean, but then you do get the ones like Dave Williams. I know he writes his, and
Yeah, good on Dave.
and David Baddiel as well. He writes his.
Yeah. Both smashing it. It's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just joyous to hear when, you know, or when someone's like has a talent you don't. I like it when on Graham Norton when they go, you've got a secret talent, you know, and they go, and it's actually something really like unicycling or.
Yeah.
It's like I started watching a show last night that Simon Day tipped me off about called Baskets, and it's an old show, 2006, and it's Zach Galifianakis, and it's about him wanting to be a clown. And it was Big Tom from, what's his name? Tom with a beard. He's in King Harry.
Oh, I'm trying to think now.
Yeah.
But I know who you mean. Tom Davies?
Yeah, Tom.
No, not Tom Davies.
You can edit this, can't you? Poor Tom.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot your name.
Yeah.
Who is the lead in King Gary?
Tom Davis.
Tom
It
Davis.
is Tom Davis. Oh, yeah.
You're right, mate. Tom tipped Simon off. Simon tipped me off. But Simon being Simon, he went, you need to watch this thing called Buckets. Could I find a thing called Buckets? There was something with Miriam Margoyles, who I find deeply offensive. So I thought, I'm not watching that. And I went, Simon, I can't find it. He went, sorry, mate, it's called Baskets. I went, oh. So I started watching it last night. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a lot of pathos in it. But suddenly out of the blue, he plays this clown that's not really, he really wants to be a proper clown, and he's struggling. Out of the blue, God, can Zach Galifianakis rollerblade? My God, what an amazing rollerblade.
Nice.
I love that. It just like comes out of the blue that they can do that. But one of the things all along with me was I knew acting was very precarious. And one thing I don't like is when actors go back to their old drama schools and going, why are you here? Why this career? Why? You're mad. You're all mad. And it's like, don't say that. Don't say that. So if I ever go to any, I go, listen, you need a good skill set. And that's what I've fallen back on in the lockdown. So I do impressions, I do stand-up, I write, I play drums professionally, I DJ, I do a bit of magic. I mean, I kind of like, these are things I've like learned over the years. And they're all things, some aren't completely honed, like DJ, and I just took to it like I took to water. But the technology now makes the job a lot easier, you know.
Yeah.
And I've had successes. But it's DJing to be like being a comedian. You know, you can die if your set list shit. You see, you've got to sit down, protest on your hand. It's no one's really kind of covered dying as a DJ, where just people just go, no, I'm not dancing to this.
Yeah. Oh wow.
You realise tunes don't work, like they're too slow, like Imagination. That's slow. Could it be that it's just an illusion? It's too slow, but you have to whack the tempo up on that. So I had to learn things like that. You just go in blind and.
I mean, with stand-up, I suppose, has there been moments when you have died on stage because it's just I mean,
you've got to die to get good. That's the simple.
Yeah.
Everyone will tell you that. You have to. Yeah. You've got to, but it's very painful. I mean,
I can imagine. Yeah.
I quit because I'd served more than my apprenticeship in it, and I was doing a lot more acting at the time. Then the acting dried up a bit, and I thought, well, I better go back. And I went back, and I did 2 gigs. Funnily enough, I grew up in Preston. I didn't grow up in Manchester. I was born in Salford, but I was adopted, and I grew up in a little village just outside Preston. And I never go back there to Preston, you know, because my mum and dad live in Chorley, but I don't go into town because I don't drink. Probably I wouldn't go back into Preston, but there's a free fight with every pint anyway. So I did 2 gigs in Preston. Around 2016 was when I went back. 2015, 2016. Hang on, was it? Yeah. And they were hellish, really bad. I was walked to my car at one because the audience was so potentially violent.
Wow.
Yeah, it was terrifying. It was really, really scary. And the other one, a fight broke out in the snooker room. Cubes and it was the Wild West.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm not doing this. And it was in a golf club and I thought they were aspirational. So a couple of Preston gigs just terrified me. Anyway, I do it a little bit now. I either do corporate which is mercenary, or I do charity free. That's it.
Yeah.
Not the dog and duck for 50 quid. You know.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Has there been? I mean, have you ever had to deal with hecklers and stuff like that? I mean, how do you deal? How do you deal
I'll
with
tell you
that?
the worst death I ever had was in front of 40,000 people at the old Manchester United football ground at Euro '96 with Frank Sidebottom.
Right.
Now, me and Frank were on stage, and he's very clever, Frank. Well, Chris was very funny because if he knew he was dying, he'd put a dust coat on and get a broom and just sweep the stage, not do any flaming material. And I was doing Bernard Wright on. And for those of you who don't know, it's the politically correct Bernard Manning. So my opening gambit, I seem to remember Madness were waiting in the wings, and the stage manager, the floor manager, was holding them, and he was like that. And I came on as Bernard Wright, and they went, ladies and gentlemen, Bernard Wright on. Not much of a response when I came on. My opening joke is there's a black fella, a Pakistani, and a Jew in a nightclub having a drink. What a fine example of an integrated community, ladies and gentlemen. So I flip all the old sexist jokes and racist jokes to PC.
Yeah.
So I got that. I got on stage. I knew Madness were due on next. I get on, and there's a crowd there, and I went, ladies and gentlemen, there's a black fella, Pakistani, and a Jew in a nightclub having a drink. What a fine example of an integrated community. And the crowd went absolutely mental. And I thought, my God, this is what it's like to be Jacko or Elvis.
Yeah.
And Madness had rushed the stage. I hadn't even introduced them. And it's them coming on that got that tumultuous response, not my joke. And I looked over my shoulder and I went, oh, no. Okay. And I went, give me an M. Hey, give me an A. Give me it. And then spelt Madness and then walked off and went, oh. But I did get a laugh. I thought they've got to, I can't do this, massive stadium gig without getting a laugh. So M people were on later, and I came on as Bernard. It's hard when you're in character as well because you can't really, you're quite limited to what you can say. It's a lot easier just to be John Thomson, And I said, it's not often as Bernard that two bands get together and merge to create a new band. I'm talking, of course, about Boney M and the Village People. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Boney Village. And M people came on, and it did get a massive laugh. So that was the saving grace of the most meteoric death in front of so many people that I did leave with a laugh.
Yeah. I mean, who were your sort of stand-up, I guess, inspirations, like comedy heroes?
To be honest, the people that inspired me were old school comics that kind of like Tommy Cooper's timing and, Eric Morecambe's timing. I kind of studied that and thought, well, I want to be that good, really, timing wise. I've always used that kind of Eric's timing for sitcoms. When I do them, they're always very kind of. It's very nice to kind of the thing about timing is it's an inner clock. It's like being able to play drums or dance. You can, you can't, or sing. Some people don't have timing. Some actors can't do comedy, which is very weird. For someone who can, it's very, very strange to come across an actor that can't do the funnies. Who else inspires? More recently, I saw Mickey Flanagan at the Stockport Plaza, which is quite a big venue. It's an old cinema theatre in Stockport. And Mickey was on. He was doing work in progress for his tour. And it was completely sold out. And that he did nearly 2 hours solid. And it blew me away. And as a Cockney, you know what we're like up north. We're a bit like, oh, right, them Londoners, eh?
Yeah.
It was joyous. It's that man had just complete command of the whole place. I just loved it. It's a bit blue, but when he's got a lovely charm about him, Mickey. And I felt that that was it. But straight stand up, it kind of. I just kind of get a bit bored with it, really. You've got to be really. One show that has always kind of been very hit and miss is Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
So many people have made such amazing careers from
it. Yeah.
On that show, it's like Tom Hanks is from Saturday Night Live. It's like amazing, isn't it? But the show itself, the script editor whoever they are. It's really, you get probably like 3 out of 10 hits. I don't know whether, I think the Americans might be a bit easier to please than
Yeah.
an actual than a British comedian watching it. I
Yeah.
remember talking to Marcus Brigstock about it. He went, "Yeah, I still watch it though, John." I went, "Oh, so many." He went, "Yeah, but it's worth it for them hits." But sometimes it depends on the guests they have on. Do you know when they have like Wayne Gretzky hockey play? You're like, "Oh no, it can only fail."
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, Tommy Cooper is timeless, isn't he? Like, I mean,
I love him.
Yeah, I mean that he was. I remember being little and my dad watching Tommy Cooper, and my dad's not a big laugher, but then with him just watching Tommy Cooper, just being in hysterics, and I'd be like, "Who's this guy? Who's Tommy Cooper?" And just ever since then, like even now, I can watch and know what's coming, but it's just he could just say anything and people would laugh, wouldn't they?
Yeah, he used to do a whole thing where he wouldn't even be on stage. Where he was stuck in the dressing room going,
"Oh yeah,"
with a mic going, I can't get out. I'm stuck. I'm stuck in here. The door, I can't find a door handle. And it would just be like off stage. Yeah. I would have loved. I never met him. No, I never met him. Never met Eric. I met Eric's son recently. I did I met Gary Morecambe, who's absolutely lovely. I did a show about old Morecambe Wise clips with Lenny Henry, Michael Graydon, and Gary, and got on like a house on fire. And I've always been a huge fan of Eric's and Tommy. They're like two. But I like an old British comedy as well, like Carry On, you know.
Oh yeah.
It's so funny. It's not really that, you know, in this PC day and age, it's not really that bad, you know, to be honest.
Well, that's the thing. Things are getting cancelled now, aren't they? I saw like what was it? I mean, Little Britain can be a bit in your face, but they've completely took it off Netflix.
Yeah, you shouldn't have done that. You should have removed the offending content.
Rather than
that's like book burning. You can't burn them all. You've got to say it's like in the Fast Show. We're very lucky, and Paul and Charlie said we were very careful not to make sure that the show would be timeless. You know, there wasn't anything too kind of popular culture referential at the time, so the characters worked, and they still do. Oh, hello.
Hello.
And so those characters kind of stand the test of time. All, you know, I can't think of it. That was the clever part of the show, and we didn't do any kind of old school, you know, blacking up or any of that stuff, you know. But like I said, when that was that, I thought, oh my god, what did we do? Did we do anything? But when we wanted a black character, we used a black actor. It's fairly obvious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We used Colin McFarlane, and it was, and so I think we used Felix a couple of times. Felix Dexter, bless him. So yeah, it was a bit of I don't know why, but it was like kind of a no-brainer to kind of do just use the actual ethnic. I mean, going back now, 90 odd, 92, 3, something like that. We just went, well, we need a black man in this sketch. We use a black man, you know.
Yeah.
It didn't seem, we didn't even think about doing any stuff like that because we knew then. But now I just feel, I don't know. It's just like, if you talk about the empowerment of women, why can't you have a gingerbread woman, right? So why not have a woman gingerbread man? Then there's that shows the existence of the woman. So the woman is there. There's the gingerbread woman, and there's the gingerbread man. That's equality, right? Gingerbread person.
Yeah.
I just feel, well, that's ignoring both. That's not equal. That's just kind of, who comes up with all? Who sits round? Who is this committee that creates this? You know.
Well, have you seen the thing about the
chalkboard? It's colored. It's black, isn't it? It's a black board. It's not.
Yeah.
You know. Well, I think if you asked any person, Afro-Caribbean person, are you offended by their blackboard? I think they're asking the wrong people.
Yeah. I mean, have you seen that thing about the potato heads that they're taking the?
It's not Mister.
Yeah, so it's just potato head. I think so. You can't.
Well, you can always put Mrs. on Mister because it had the holes in it.
Yeah, in Toy Story they had Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head.
Yeah,
Brought
but
home for watching
that's made their marriage null and void.
it. Yeah,
Who are
exactly.
they to say?
I
Who are
know.
they to split that lovely couple who clearly love each other up?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
I despair.
Yeah,
God. I mean,
it's mad.
thank God. Oh, who's next? Ken and Barbie. Ooh,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's gonna
yeah,
be Mr.
yeah. It does
Mental
worry me.
Illness.
PC gone mad. I do worry what kind of future we've got. What future my kids have got. There kinds to be, and there seems to just be a kind of, all right, yeah, okay, whatever. It's kind of like but you just that's the thing about today is keep your opinions to yourself if you want an easy life.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to go on Twitter quite regularly, but I wouldn't really have an opinion. But someone's describes Twitter as shouting into the abyss.
Hmm.
I found there's a lot of anger on there, and there's even if you put something nice on, someone will make a horrible comment.
Hmm.
Just for the hell of it. Whereas Instagram seems to be a bit more. There's a lot more love on Instagram. So what I tend to do is I will cut and paste what I've done on Instagram, repost the photo and put it on. That's what I do. Because otherwise you'll just get a link to Instagram. People can't be bothered with that. It's so funny how lazy people aren't you? So you put a picture on Instagram, and then if you put the slider on Twitter, it doesn't put the photo up. It just puts the link to the photo and takes them back to Instagram. Now they might not have Instagram. There is that.
Hmm.
So what I've had to learn to do is cut and paste the dialogue on Instagram and put that on with the picture in Twitter, and then so the difference between a non-picture on Twitter and a picture is quite remarkable. But what I don't tend to do is just have an opinion.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it.
It's
There
much.
is
Yeah.
no.
You get hammered.
You do get hammered. You can't. You can't. I think the only thing I had an opinion about recently was Blue Monday, and I went, stop. I didn't even know it was Blue Monday. And I went, in the current pandemic with people struggling with mental health problems, why alert us to this? It was on the radio. It was it's Blue Monday. Anyway, I found out subsequently it was a completely fictitious thing created by the travel industry to make people book the holidays.
Mad. Yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Once you do your research. But I said, just stop. I said, listen, people are blue enough with the current circumstances. Don't be flagging up Blue Monday. Well, Mike couldn't even book a holiday anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They're still doing it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know. I mean,
so annoying.
a couple of years ago, I wrote an article about Ant McPartland. I was standing up for him because he was, he got involved in the drink driving case,
Yeah.
but there are people calling for his head, and I said, he needs to be dealt with like everyone else would be. Banned from driving, have a fine like we all would be.
I've been done. I got made an exhibition of. I was put on. I was a bong on News at 10.
Yeah, but there are people.
So that was horrifying for me.
Yeah, yeah, and people calling for his head said he should never be on TV again. I was just saying, look, we can't. He's probably got some problems. He's come out and said he's got some problem with prescriptive drugs and alcohol, and his marriage is sort of breaking up. And I sort of say, he needs to deal with this and come back and appropriately. But I got absolutely hammered for that. People say, no, you're sympathizing with someone that's could have killed someone. He should never be able to come back on TV. ITV should be ashamed if they let him back on TV. And I was just like, it's just like we always want to bring back celebrity hangings or something.
It's terrible. You know what? The thing is, what people don't understand is addiction is a disease, right? Mm-hmm. And it's recognized by the World Health Organization and the medical bodies.
Yeah.
That you cannot help. It's a mental health problem. You can't help being addicted to drugs and drink. You can't help it, right? So whatever mayhem you caused in your path while you've got the problem is unfortunate. But some people get over it, some people don't. And the thing is, people have to understand that at the time, your life is out of control, and you don't. It's like it's funny when people say some of my best friends are drug addicts and alcoholics, but they're recovered,
Yeah.
And it's very cruel to just say, people just think, oh, junkie, skid row, oh, tramp, dirty, filthy. It's not true. It's not true, And to be honest, this country is probably if you've got a drink problem, it's one of the worst to be in. The Americans were looking at the Americans actually commented on the British desire for the pubs to open, It seemed to be that. Seemed to be
Hmm.
the number one thing that everyone wanted, you know. And I appreciate the social of it because I mean, but I thought work would be, you know, people would want to work because I appreciate people's social lives work revolve
Hmm.
at work. You know, you take people take it for granted that you know I have a funny career because I make all these friends and then I'm suddenly like bereaved. I don't see them again for ages or ever again. You know, it's kind of like I don't form strong bonds that last forever like people at work do, and some of their best mates are at work, and I appreciate that. But you know, I appreciate my daughter's 18, and I really feel for her because this is like the years of you know getting out and about and having
Yeah.
fun.
Your daughter's reactions to you as the Masked Singer. I saw the
Oh
reaction
yeah.
video. I mean, what was that whole experience like keeping that?
Oh, it was so mad. Honestly, I got asked to do it the first year round, and I was doing Cold Feet at the time, and they wouldn't release me,
Mhm.
so I couldn't do it. The only difference being you get to choose your costume if you do the first ever one. I said I wanted to because I like monkeys. I wanted to be a monkey.
Yeah.
Anyway, they showed me 3 costumes for the second series, and the Bush Baby was the one that appealed to me because it was the nearest, and marsupial was kind of nearest
Yeah. Yeah.
to the monkey family. So I kind of went for, and it had a great appeal. It was a big stick for the cutes factor, and I've always been able to sing. I started in musical theatre at school. So I went to a Catholic school and I did Joseph in Joseph, Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, and Judas in Jesus Christ Superstar. And then I did amateur dramatics and I did a few musicals where I was kind of background for it was called Preston Musical Comedy. And I did a bit with them. And then there was a breakaway faction that was called Act One. And that was a younger people. And we did Grease. And my best thing I did was Blood Brothers. I had played Mickey in that. And that was just before I went to do theatre studies at A level. And it was that production that kind of made me go, right, yes, this is what I want to do. So I was 17. I went, right, yeah, I've had a great response for this. This is definitely because at that age, 17, you're really not entirely sure whether you know. I wasn't really sure. Am I doing the right thing? And then I knew. So I'd always been able
Mhm.
to sing, but I kind of kept it under wraps. I did a bit of Fame Academy back in the 2001
Fame Academy. Oh, that brings me back. Yeah. Wow.
for
Yeah. I
it was for
remember.
comic relief.
Yeah.
So I did that, and that I did okay on that. I think I took it a bit too serious. I should have messed about a bit more. And then this, but it was such a learning curve. This because when you're in that costume, more is definitely more. Because I'm thank God I has to see some playback. Because when you think you're doing a lot, you got to do massive. When you see Disney people,
Oh yeah.
it's got to be huge. So it was really interesting as a technique as an actor to do. They call it skin work in the theatre, you know,
Yeah.
to do skin work, and it was amazing. But the heat. So the more I moved, the better the better the performance. But the heat, because it was foam latex. So got to remember, I'm covered in fur anyway. Foam latex body that made the shape, but which was covered in fur, and then a baby grow on top, and then the studio lights. Oh, I remember. But what you don't know is that the rehearsals, you do it all in costume. No one knows who you are. So
Mhm.
you walk around, you've got a hoodie on like this and a mask and like a welder's mask that's blacked out, black gloves. No one knows who you are. And there's a t-shirt that says "Don't speak to me" on it. So if you see "Don't speak to me's" in the corridors, it's either entourage agents or the actual turn. So I didn't know who anybody was. I could only go. I watched the show just like a punter would and guess. And I enjoyed it. It's a great lockdown show. You know,
Oh yeah.
it was a
That's great.
brilliant. It stumbled a bit when it came out because
Mhm.
it's a Korean show originally, and I remember when it came out, people went, "Oh, what's this? You know, what is this?" And it was it, and it was a grower. So I was glad to go to its second series where it had been established, but because we're all stuck in, we'll watch anything really. It's Saturday night. It's kind of classic telly night, and it was great. It was a great family show. So the only people that knew were my partner and my ex-wife. That was it. They were the only people that knew. My agent, and I kept it under wraps. I'd said that I was doing Dictionary Corner on Countdown, which I've done only just recently. But I knew that was. They were always asking me if I'd do it. That was the normal countdown, not 8 out of 10 counts,
Yeah.
which is out at Easter actually. my one, and it's quite funny. Some of the things that happened.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fun. I did enjoy it very much. I enjoyed actually playing it. It was a really nice afternoon, just playing Countdown, but in the studio. So, so where was I? I've lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, that was my subterfuge, Countdown Dictionary Fun, which is on. But if my kids had done their research, it's only in Manchester. It's only at Media City up the road, not down in London. They were going, "What are you doing? Where are you going?" I went, "I'm doing Countdown," and they go, "All right." And they didn't question it. And also, I do an animated series called Scream Street, which is in London. So I said it was a kind of mixture of those two. I was going, so I got all the way to the fifth. I almost came fifth on it, there were, but I didn't have a clue about some of them. I could tell Lenny straight away. I could recognize his voice when he sang. Lenny Henry.
Yeah.
That was the giveaway. So I didn't realize that also not only do you have to disguise your voice, so I did like an Aussie character, kind of enthusiastic Aussie.
Yeah.
Which got criticised, and I thought, well, let's hear yours. Come on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I really I thought it was pretty on point, to be honest. I kind of pride myself in my accent. So to hear it wasn't really right. It's like McDonald and Dodds I did on Sunday night. I'm going back to Twitter again.
Yeah.
Everyone went, brilliant accent, fab accent. Oh, it's great to see you do a different accent. Great. And one bloke went, shit, West Country accent. You're the only one.
Yeah.
I know people from Bristol who talk, so I kind of got an idea.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway.
It's always that one comment, isn't it? It's always it's just that one comment. You can the half dozen really good ones you get. You're like, nah. But it's
you
the
know
one
what I do? I like. Heart. No heart for you, mate.
Yeah. No like, no heart.
No heart. No likey, no hearty.
Yeah. Would you any of the other sort of reality shows ever appeal to you to do, or not really?
Well, I'm obsessed with food, and I'm a very good cook.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that I don't like really to eat, and I like getting these restaurant boxes and cooking their food. I love that. But I didn't have a great experience on MasterChef, and that put me off for life.
Right.
So the heartbreaking thing about it was something I could do very well, but went out first in my group, and it killed me. It broke me. It really, really depressed me, and I didn't pick up a pan for 3 months. And do you know what got me back on my feet? Getting divorced and HelloFresh. They came to
HelloFresh is great, yeah.
They came to the door and they went, I just got divorced and I just moved into this house. And they went, what is it? And they went, it's meal boxes. I went, oh, do you do them for one? And they went, no. So I thought, right, I get myself a girlfriend. So, and that was it. And I kind of honed my cooking every week after week after week after week after week. To be honest, I'm a much better cook than I was when I went into MasterChef anyway. And knife skills and I can cook rice perfectly now. The secret is so you double the amount of liquid to the rice, you boil and then reduce for 10 minutes and then take it off the heat and steam for 10 and then fluff it with a fork. Anyone listening, that's how you make your perfect rice.
Yeah.
But it varies from rice to rice. You've got to be careful. Check your rice type.
Well, if you ever decided to do the jungle, I'm a celebrity, you'd be great at the rice and beans then, right?
Yeah, well, I would. Now, the thing about that is, people say, oh, you'd be great in the jungle. A lot of punters think that. But to be honest, I know myself very well. I know what my strengths and weaknesses are. And I mean, if he does go back to Australia, I know I hate heat. Look at the bush baby. I was dying. I can't cope with the heat. I'm very good in the cold. So when I did 71 Degrees North, that's the only reality shows I've done. 71 Degrees North, MasterChef, and The Masked Singer. I mean, the hard thing as a decent actor who would rather do acting is these shows that you don't really want to do, but you're on your arse, pay far much better.
Yeah.
They are vastly more lucrative, and you are stuck with the worst moral dilemma.
Yeah.
Constantly, where they go, what about dancing on ice? And I think, oh no, strictly, I go, I don't really have a passion for dancing. And it's very, very hard when you're not working to go, oh, do I do it for the money? And you know what I mean? Like, I remember I had a tax bill that I really couldn't pay, and I got asked to do Splash, that high dive show. You know that?
Yeah, absolutely.
You remember it, where you went up the high dive board and went in?
Mhm.
And I'd been training really hard. And I was in the best shape I'd ever been. I'd done a thing called P90X for 3 months, and I even had a 6-pack. And
Wow.
I just couldn't do that show, and it would have paid my tax and some. So I had to
Mhm.
borrow. But it was just one of those things. It's not for me. I shouldn't. My agent went, I don't think you should do it. I
Yeah.
mean, my agent does say we recommend a pass on certain things. So that's the problem a lot of actors have these days. Is one, maintaining your profile, but through quality work.
Mhm.
That's very hard because
Yeah.
there's such an appetite in this country, particularly for reality TV. I mean, if you see the trailer for ITV2, I kind of go like, it's like, is this what it's come to, really? You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
I just,
It's like you say, they pay extreme. I mean, we had Razor Ruddock on, and he said because he was in the second series, I think, of The Jungle, and he said I would do it again tomorrow for the amount ITV paid me to do it.
right.
Yeah, but he just said it was strictly, he didn't really think
I
too
know
much about
someone
it.
did it very, very shrewd. But I think Big Brother very shrewdly, and it's the brilliant Scottish actor James Cosmo. You know the one
Yes.
from Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
James.
Hmm.
James basically went into Big Brother and didn't speak, just sat very quietly in the corner, you know.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Really played the quiet man and sat. And he went, I'll pay my kids' school fees. Just do
Yeah.
that. And it's just like, wow. But I'm too gobby. I'm a gobshite. I couldn't do it. I get involved, you know. But really, do I want to do those shows? No, I don't. I don't want to do them. I don't. I found 71 Degrees North very harrowing because I'd done Adrenaline Junkie with Jack Osborne previous to that and loved it. Absolutely relished it. Went to New Zealand, did the most dangerous things that was so exciting, and thought 71 Degrees North would be the same.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't at all. And I just went, I want to go home. I've had enough.
Yeah.
I tried my hardest, you know. MasterChef was something I could do, and I got booted out, and it broke me. I just thought, it was so disappointing because it was like people who know me know, oh, John's a great cook and all that, and it was kind of like there was a book on me to win, and it was like my friend Simon Rimmer said, oh, you'd be great and all that, and
All right, just put my charger on.
but it's pro rata as well.
Yeah.
And I cancelled a load of work to do it because I thought, okay, this will be all right. I'll go to the distance on this. I just went, oh no.
Yeah.
So it's a risk. A lot of those shows are pro rata, meaning you're paid per step. So the longer you stay in, the more you get paid. I suppose.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess that's it.
It's
Yeah.
incentive. Really.
Yeah, I remember there was that massive. It kicked off one. Well, people were moaning about it because Noel Edmonds went in the jungle and he went in late and he got paid ridiculous amounts of money and came out first, and he got paid I think he got paid more than any of even the person that won it and stuff. But I guess they were just so incensed on having Noel Edmonds on, they paid through the nose to get him on.
Funny you should say that. Me and Charlie Hickson were supposed to do a rally drive across Thailand and Cambodia. Like, was it Thailand, Vietnam, and Cambodia
Mm-hmm.
in a classic car? And me and Charlie were going to do it. And I went, all right, I'll do it. Me and Charlie were going to do that show. Because I just thought the scenery alone,
Yeah.
to do that, a bit hot, but
Yeah.
Anyway, we agreed that day in the afternoon. They went, sorry, no. And I went, hang on, you've offered it to me and you've taken it away. You can't do that. And they went, I'm sorry, we've got some. Anyway, I found out it was Noel Edmonds. He's good at it.
Typical.
He's good, isn't he? Clever lad, isn't he?
That's what he's doing, I guess.
I just thought, how can DJ have a helicopter? What? It's mad, isn't it? Somebody who plays records on Radio 1 has got a helicopter.
That's mad, yeah.
You don't really think of someone going, Papa Doodle Doo, mate, and here, just coming into number 9 is, and you've got a helicopter. I just could never been able to fathom that.
Yeah, no, never.
The secret wages of the BBC.
Absolutely. I mean, were you surprised when Cold Feet made its second run, did its return?
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
Could have been a car crash, totally. But it was, I feel very blessed, very grateful that was a huge success again. Yeah. We were to have gone last, trying to get a timeline on things. It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Was it 2020? I think 2020.
Yeah, I think it was around then. It was the last.
2019 we did the last thing.
Yeah.
We did the last show, I think. Now, the plan was to do a summer special, 90-minute special in Barcelona. we were going to do an hour and a half show set in Barcelona. It was all set up for it because they were in the camper van and the band were on tour and it was all going to go. And then the problem was the writer had been given 2 projects and he said, I can't do both. You know, he was struggling. So and then the pandemic came and it kind of, that was it. It kind of, it dissolved. I'd like to think we come back, but I just hope that it's not 13 years wait.
Yeah.
Like last time, you know. I was very surprised we did, you know, but I was very, very hugely grateful that we did come back when we did. Because it was a lifesaver. Because I just got divorced and I was a bit kind of like, I was still a bit shell shocked, and it was just the thing I needed to refocus my life and job and everything. So it was great. It was great. It was, the timing of it couldn't have been better, and I thank the universe for sending it to me. Very much.
Brilliant. Yeah,
it's brilliant.
Brilliant. Well, John, it's been great talking to you today.
It's been great too.
Yeah, it's been great. We're looking forward to, well, maybe not in the jungle, but seeing you on the cold feet.
On something.
Yeah, I'll see you on something.
I don't mind do you know what I do love? A game show. Because I'm very good at general knowledge.
Yeah.
And with the exception of coming 14th on 15-1, Rufus Hound beat me just by a point.
Oof.
And second on Mastermind by a point to Stuart Lee. Yeah. I've won every game show known to in the UK. Nice. So, and I've won an extraordinary amount for charity as well. Yeah. I'd rather do that than run a marathon. So I'm looking forward to the next game show that I
nice. Well, look out for you in the chase. Yeah, I do enjoy the chase. We've had Sean. I just talked to Sean Wallace on this, and just incredible the knowledge that he has.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, and sometimes he'd so I was talking to him, and he'd be like, "Oh yeah, I think that was then." And you asking me, he's just like, "Am I right in thinking this?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I'm sure you are." He'll just like think, "Oh, I think it was around that time, wasn't it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I think you talk about history and stuff." Yeah, I was like, "Yeah, I'll agree with you." I'm sure you're right. Yeah. But John, I look forward to seeing the shows.
Thanks.
And
Take care, mate.
All the best to you.
All the best.
Cheers.